and an attempt to incite the good people of this country against the security architecture of this country. First of all, we must guard against politicizing security in this country. It's a very, very, very dangerous thing that the NDCs are doing. With the greatest of respect, this is not a gender ministry. With the greatest of respect, it is not an agreed ministry. Respectfully, it is not a roach ministry. This is the security architecture of the country. Anybody that decides to politicize the running of security in this country probably may not know that it is likely to create problems for us as a country. And so my advice to my senior friend, the NDC chairman, is to, as much as practically possible, move away from politicizing security in this country. Now comes to the major issue.
But did you ever ask the opposition MPs? I mean, whilst you are recruiting security personnel, did you ever speak to your colleague members on the other side to say, yeah, we're recruiting, so if you have persons, you can bring them for us to do that?
I am coming to that, if I may. So we had series of meetings when the opposition raised this matter up. They sent it to Shuraj. Personally, as I speak, I've not had any petition. I've not seen any petition. I only saw it in the media space. Shuraj has not written to me. But because I'm a member of parliament, we engage leadership series several times. And so when I appeared before the Committee for Defense and Interior, is a select committee that has oversight over Minister of the Interior, Defense, and National Security. So there it was agreed that we should advertise, but we shouldn't sell forms. And so we agreed, and then subsequently, because I am not in charge of recruiting, Interior does not recruit, we gave directives for the security intelligence agencies to do so. There was a question that came up we said that per the advertisement, those people who bought forms in 2021, they have got their tracking numbers and all that, but for some reason have not been able to be attended to, can apply, or rather indicates, and the security agencies have given out an email address or something where people have done so. As at 3 days ago, information available to me is that a total of about 90,000 people have gone online to fill that, or rather, because they are not buying the forms. I'm trying to look for the suitable word to use. But the long and short is that they've gone online to indicate. I think immigration is around some 24,000, fire is about 20, a total of about 90,000. So clearly, first of all, this issue of there's no backlog, what the agencies are doing clearly shows that indeed there's backlog over 100,000 in this country. My position is that if we have all these people, over 100,000, who have applied since 2021, and they have not been able to be attended to, why do you go and sell forms again? So we've complied to that. Now, members of parliament, you have to go through this process by ensuring that your people actually have their tracking numbers and everything as citizens of this country, not necessarily as politicians. So if a member of parliament has got a constituent of his or hers who indeed in 2021-22 applied but has not been considered, the idea is that, okay, let them put it through, but not to do protocol and to bribe them. When you say bribe, it's a very strong statement to use, my brother. Now I'm saying that I find it interesting that the national chairman can use the word bribe. How do you bribe a member of parliament? We are members of parliament, we criticize constructively, and we ensure that we shape things for legislature, you know. So how do you bribe a member of parliament of yours?
Okay.
Of course, MPs have got constituents who may have also bought forms. Is it wrong in saying that, oh, okay, if they have forms, they should go through the same process?
Okay.
Is it wrong? I'm not saying that, go ahead, bring me 5 so I can put you in there. So this statement, first of all, let me say categorically that I did not bribe any member of parliament.
Well, at what point in time did you go to these members of parliament to say, well, if you have constituents, bring them, let's recruit them?
Oh, no, when you say let's recruit them, that's what I'm saying. When you have constituents who have also bought the forms online,
I get
the
it.
eligibility criteria,
Yes.
you can let them go through. That's a different thing than bring them for me to recruit.
Okay.
So let me say that we have not, or I have not asked them to bring and to bribe them. I think I want to be very clear on that one.
Okay.
I have not bribed any member of parliament by offering them tutu and all that. It is not the case.
So when you went to them, them that if they have constituents who bought the forms, they could go through, what exactly were you trying to do to help them out?
So we are floating it to Ghanaians, or just like their constituents. There are people who have bought forms. Indeed, they are tracking numbers and they are online. They should also apply. That is what it is. I have made that statement, but I did not say that I'm bribing them. I want to be very clear on that one. Yes, I'm not bribing them.
Yeah,
because it was in a closed sitting. It was in a closed sitting for members of parliament. It was not like going to them one by one to say, bring me, let me do it, or bring me, let me do it for you. No, that's not a position.
Okay. Now, so I was trying to find out from you, at what point in time did you go to them about, if they have constituents, they can also, and they bought forms?
I think after we had agreed on the roadmap that we were going to advertise for every Ghanaian citizen to also be given the equal opportunity. That was when I said, well, we are advertising. So advise your constituents, if they also fill the forms and all that, do it, and then let's see how the process goes. That is the position. And again, I've read online that he said, I have a list of 10,000 people on my table. I think that is a big lie for him to say. That is a serious statement for him to make. I don't know why we are making all these issues because of elections. I'm surprised. How can you say I have 10,000 list on my table? Why? You see, he's an elderly person, he's a senior politician. I don't want to go on the banter with him. But I want to say that I am so disappointed, very, very disappointed that Asiedu Nketia, national chairman, can make these blatant statements live. Why? How can you say I have 10,000 list on my table? Why?
Okay.
Why?
But
so please, we have to guard against this politicization of security in this country. It is I keep repeating, it's a very dangerous thing to do, and we have to desist from it.
Okay. So if you feel he's slighted you or made pronouncement that really taints your integrity, what will you do? Take up legal action against him?
Oh, there's a video going round when my good brother Quartey made a very strong statement when he was in opposition against government. Eventually, when he came before the vetting committee, he said, it was a political talk. And he was asked whether it's correct. He said he's used his tongue to do it. We are in a political field. Frankly speaking, I'm not going to waste my time and energy to go to court about it. I'm not going to do that. But I just want to make it clear that there was no attempt to bribe any NDC member of parliament, and I don't have a list of 10,000 people on my desk. No. The decision between minority and majority was that let us advertise. Let us give a fair opportunity to Ghanaians, wherever they are, to also put in the application. That we have done. Okay. As I speak to you, I think we have over 90,000, and it's up to the Security Intelligence Agencies to let them go through the process. And I shall be grateful when the exercise is over for Joy FM to go around the country, because we said that. In doing so, they must also consider regional balance. So every region is represented. So you can go do so, do some interviews after the process. And then, by all means, do me a favor and let us know that people who applied on their own without any assistance from any politician have got recruitment. And that is where I'll come back on this thing said to now invite my good brother Asiedu Nketia to ask him something. You see, there was something
but if there was no intent of favoritism there, why just speak to the members of parliament and not chiefs, for example? Because if you say you want to make every Ghanaian who is eligible to apply, why the MPs and not any other leader?
I'm a member of parliament. I'm sure that if you want to give information at press and you speak to your colleague, doesn't mean that you are not considering all Ghanaians. No. I'm a member of parliament. We hold a meeting, a close-city meeting, and then I think somebody asked, hey, so what are you going to do to us? And I'm like, oh, okay, they are constituents. So I help them to go online and do it, ask everybody to. That's what I said. But like I said, if you are a soldier and there's a matter in the camp, you discuss in the camp. You don't go out there to go and discuss it. It doesn't mean that you are not thinking of the site. And of course, you are talking about chiefs and all that. That's a different matter.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. So how many people have applied again, and what's going to happen now?
In fact, as at last 3 days, they were close to 90,000. That was the report that I had from the security agencies that was doing the recruitment. But bear in mind that Parliament has approved a budget, so there is an intake that the agencies will have to do. And I don't think it's going to go beyond maybe 12,000 or so. So all these 80,000 is up to the state intelligence agencies to use the eligibility criteria to be able to select who qualifies to actually be admitted.
Okay.
And may I say again that we don't have political police, political soldier, political fire. Why do I say so? And I've always made this statement and asked them to come and speak to the which they have not done. Currently, as we speak, because of some problems that members of parliament had some time ago, where people almost lost their lives, there was a general appeal to my predecessor to make an application to Ghana Police Service so that every member of parliament is assigned with a police or a bodyguard.
No.
So as we speak, there are about 100 MPs on the other side, minority, who have police bodyguards. My question is that, are they telling us that those bodyguards of theirs are NDC thugs? Are you getting my point? Because the MPs were given the opportunity to choose a particular police officer to be their bodyguard.
Well,
some cases, they allow the system to choose for them.
Okay.
Now, are we telling Ghanaians that bodyguards who are with MPs are political bodyguards? So those with NDCs are NDC police. Those with the NPP majority side are NPP police.
But Mr. Quartey, the reality is that we've seen members of parliament brandish new recruits in the police service on Facebook to say, well, I got these people into the service. That's what people are talking about, political policing. Obviously, the members of parliament who are NPP, who are brandishing the people on Facebook that we got them into the service, will not go and take NDC people into the service. They'll take people who are aligned to the NPP, not so.
No, my brother. So today, are we saying that if you go to the schools and people who are cooking for the children, is that to suggest that when they cook for the children, they give NDC's parents food? Or rather, they give NDC's parents food and they don't give NDC's, ward or children's food. And they don't give, it's wrong.
These are two different things. These are two different things.
No, they are not two different things.
No, a member of parliament says, I, Kojo Brace, I was able to secure ABCD people recruitment into the police service. I'm an MPP MP. Are you saying that as an MPP MP, I'll go and pick people who I know for sure that they are NDC people and lobby for them to get into the service?
I know that the member of parliament is supposed to take care of his or her constituents. When you come to my constituency, it is open secret. You can check. People who get jobs through me don't go into it because they are MPP or they are NDC. They get jobs because they are constituents. You can check. Your station is in my constituency. Go and do your checks.
Well,
They'll tell you. So don't let us do that, because when an MP goes to lobby for something, obviously that MP is going to use it as his achievement. You know what I mean? And so MP is allowed to go and lobby for people to get nursing training. They are allowed to lobby for people to get postings in schools. They are allowed to do all that because it's serving the community, the constituents who have reposed that confidence and trust in them. And so I don't think that you can base this particular issue and say that we are recruiting MPP police. But I've asked the question that nobody is giving me an answer.
But aren't you worried that we are getting politicians like yourself get people into the security service or services, something that must be based on merit and not necessarily because I know Henry Quartey?
But when you say politicians like myself, how do you mean?
I've given you the premise that MPs are helping people to get into the police service, for example.
You said MPs. When you say politicians like myself, I think you're making it personal. I need you to explain to me.
Oh, no. Okay. So let me change it.
I'm saying that. I need you to explain to me. No. Please retract and let's continue.
So, no. Because I'm having a chat with you. I'm having a chat with you. That's why I used you. Sorry. I didn't mean that you are doing that. I'm just saying that if MPs, let's say if I'm an MP like me, Kojo Brace, and I put people in the service, aren't we worried that as members of parliament, as politicians, we are taking people who we know into the police, into the security services, something that should be based purely on merit and not because of who someone knows?
Okay, good question. So is it the case that when a politician takes somebody to recruitment, the person doesn't go through eligibility criteria, the person doesn't go through a recruitment process, they just wear the person a uniform? Is that the case?
You tell me.
No, you tell me. Can you point a finger to one person who is wearing uniform without going through training, and that the person didn't go through eligibility criteria? That is the challenge we have here. Everybody who goes through and is recruited into the security services is a citizen of this country, is a Ghanaian, and goes through the eligibility criteria, trains, and then passes out as a police officer, fire service, immigration, prisons, narcotics, name them. So how then do we turn around and say that we are recruiting back into the system? When you go and bring somebody who, excuse my language, has not finished school, how do you wear the person a uniform to go and become a police officer? It is simply not possible.
Okay.
It can't be possible. I mean, you and I know it can't be possible. That's where we are coming from. So we should be careful when we are making these statements to politicize the situation. Now, brother, let's be very careful. I keep saying it. Where we are getting to and what we are doing as a country is dangerous for us.
Okay.
Let us stop politicizing security. It's dangerous.
I get you. I'm grateful to you, Mr. Henry Quartey, for joining us. He is the Interior Minister, and he spent his time today to try and respond to some allegations by the chairman of the NDC, Asiedu Nketia.